in business. So yesterday I was unable to vlog because I didn't have any cable. I mean, not cable, but I didn't have any power. Like, I came home, it was a bad storm yesterday, no power. But I'm back in business. So yesterday was a quite an interesting day. I mean, I woke up just kind of down, honestly. Just it was a rough morning. Like, I had my little tears, I had my little cry, and I was able to bounce back though. So I think that's huge for me because emotions haven't always been, I guess, easy for me to deal with because I've always judged them. I've always looked at being emotional as being a bad thing. But I didn't necessarily look like that yesterday. It's just like, okay, dude, I'm having a rough morning. It's okay. And I was able to sit with the emotions and move forward. A couple of years ago, I probably would have just been sad all day. And really, I wouldn't even know what I was sad about. I'd just be sad. But, I was aware of why I was down. I was able to, deal with the emotions, and I was able to push past it. So I think that's a major growth. And, I would just challenge you, like, whatever you feel, hey, it's totally fine. There are no good or bad emotions. It's just what you feel. Sit with the emotions, understand why you feel the way you feel, and push past it. So that was the first thing. And then, the major piece of yesterday, which I was thinking about as I was riding in the car yesterday, was assumptions. You know, um, really, we just don't need to make any, right? So the first thing when we talk about assumptions, so I was like, okay, assumptions, right? So I just looked up. I was like, okay, what's the definition of an assumption? And the definition was a belief or expectation without proof, right? So this is my belief based on, I have no proof. This is just what I believe, right? So assumptions really came to my mind because I assume a lot of times. Like, I just, and not just assume, but it's just like a circle. Like, in this book called The Five Levels of Attachment, I wanted to draw this for you. Check it out. So, when you see this circle, or you see this piece of a circle, you know, you naturally in your mind, you feel the rest of it in, right? Like, you feel the rest of it in the circle. Okay. Even though it's just a half of a circle, you know, you just feel it in. You're like, okay, that's a circle. So essentially, what he says in the five level attachments is when we do that, we are when we make assumptions, that's what we're doing. We're filling in the rest of the circle, trying to fill in that gap. But this is the thing about that, everyone, we are all so fundamentally different, right? So you may be doing this, and my thoughts may be something completely different, right? And so, how can I measure you on my beliefs? I don't think that's really fair to us as people. Just like sometimes people may measure us on their beliefs. It's not really fair. So when it comes to assumptions, just like they say in the book, don't make assumptions. And I think honestly, when we don't make assumptions, we're a lot happier. I think that when we're able to just look at it is what it is. It is what it is. It's not good. It's not bad. I'm not assuming anything about myself based on someone else's behavior. It's just, it is what it is. Facts are facts, right? No feelings about it, because I think that what happens is when we make assumptions, I think it leads to over analysis, overthinking, and then essentially narrating what's going on instead of just taking it for what it is. A lot of times what people do has absolutely nothing to do with us. It's just is what it is. And so I think that when we think about assumptions and filling in that gap, it really made me think about how that essentially as people, we're all just doing the best that we can. I can't assume that what someone else is doing has to do with me, because I think if we're going to make assumptions, let's just assume the best. Let's just assume the best. We are essentially all as people, I think we're all doing the best that we can. Now, I say assume the best because I know one of the things that I have in my head, like me and my friend talk about this often, is that, I'm a major storyteller in my head. Like, I just assume all these things, that probably a lot of times are like just not even true. It's like you make stuff up. you know. But if you just take it for what it is, it's just what it is. If it's something different, then they'll communicate that. They'll show me that. But I can't make something up based off what someone else is doing. So, because I thought about that. I mean, I think we've all had different experiences. We all have had, a different lives. We've all done different things, and those are essentially what make us who we are. So I think another thing that I thought about when I thought about assumptions is that I assume when we make assumptions, we're assuming from simply our perception, what we believe, right? What we've experienced, and really what we do. So when I say measure another person based on what we believe, like here's a prime example. So because I am so private and secretive sometimes with my feelings, I assume sometimes that when someone says, "Hey, I'm fine," I may assume that it's something like maybe they're not fine, because sometimes I'll say I'm fine, but really inside that's not the truth. Like I may be upset inside, I may be angry, but I'm not communicating that. So I assume that when someone else says they're fine, well, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's something this, and that's not true. So I think that the more that I become in integrity and more comfortable with speaking my truth and speaking my feelings, then I can't assume that someone else is doing that, because if I'm in integrity, I'm gonna assume the best and assume that someone else is doing this. I guess an essential, if I'm gonna assume the best, I'm gonna assume that someone else is doing the same thing. If there's something different, they'll communicate that. So I think that what just dropped in my spirit. Shout out, mom. Shout out. Yeah, it's just that I think the more that we grow as a people, more as we grow as people, and more we grow as a person, that we can assume the best about others because we are seeing the best in ourselves. Oh, look at that. That's deep. That's deep right there. But yeah. So assumptions. Let's not assume really anything. There's no way that we can measure another person on our perceptions, on our beliefs. And then if we're gonna make an assumption, let's assume the best about people. Let's just assume the best in general. We are all doing the best that we can. And I think when it comes down to that, I think the other thing that I thought about was like I really can't judge anyone, because, we are all doing the best that we can. So I think one of the things that moving forward that I'm really going to make a conscious effort to do is just assume the best, but really not judge people, because again, we are doing the absolute best that we can. All we can do is the best from our level of awareness, and that's totally fine. So that was my big takeaway today. Do not make assumptions, but if we're gonna make assumptions, let's assume the best. And so I think again, the more that we grow as people, the more that we are being the best version of ourselves, then we can assume that about others. So that was my big tidbits, words of wisdom. But it's the dorky jock. Please subscribe, please share, cause guess what, baby? It's all love. It's the dorky jock. And I'm out.